Hello everybody. My name is Alon,
I'm Elik.
and we're now after a protest in Tel Aviv. Elik, do you want to explain what the protest was about?
It was a protest against I think the main thing was the invasion of Rafah.
Yes, that is going on, that started like yesterday,
Yeah,
basically.
I think because everybody at this point now knows that there's a deal on the table.
Yes.
That at the end that was there through since the beginning.
Yes, since
and
the
it's
beginning.
gonna be the deal that they will do at the end, but now they just want some more blood before.
So they refused the deal, Hamas agreed to the deal, and the Israeli government refused the deal and decided to invade Rafah anyway.
Because Israel says like our terms for the ceasefire is that it's not a ceasefire.
Basically, yes.
That's what they say.
So, we went to this protest, and in this protest there were many slogans being exclaimed, like, do you remember some of the slogans?
So there was in Gaza and Sderot,
Yes.
ילדות מבקשות לחיות, which means both in Gaza and Sderot, which the city.
Yes, it's a Israeli city.
Yeah.
On the border.
Girls want to live.
Yes, yes. No children want to live.
Children.
And also from the river to the sea.
Freedom and equality, right?
Freedom and equality for everyone, yes. From the river to the sea. And ceasefire now, and we will not stop shouting, and we will not be afraid to shout ceasefire now, and all kinds of things like that. And negotiations are the only solution, a diplomatic solution is the only solution, a military solution is no solution, things like that. And these, I believe, are mostly radical people who are there. Maybe some of them are like Zionists. We talked about it in the live that we did.
At some point he was shouting like Israel, Palestine, שתי מדינות לשני עמים.
Yeah, okay, so 2 states for 2 people. Okay, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
But we had a few experiences from this protest that we had, and we wanted to share with you and show how it sheds some light on what is going on here now. And also we wanted to use this opportunity to kind of talk about what we are doing with our channels, and what we are going to do in the future with our channels. And we want just everyone who is following us to know all of our different social media and the kind of content that we upload and our plans for the future.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start first of all by saying that I have on my channel the Hebrew Canaanite. This is my channel. And on my channel we have a podcast called One State Solution, where Elik and I speak with each other. Okay? And on Elik's channel, which is called?
The Sound of Anarchy.
Yes, Sound of Anarchy. This is Elik's channel, and on his channel we have another podcast, Yalla, in which we do interviews with different people, Palestinian people, Jewish people, all are people who share our vision for one state for all its inhabitants, where we have equality, justice, peace for all, and no violence. And this is our dream, and we want to make it a reality by speaking with other people who share our dream and speak about how we make it a reality. Okay, so let's start sharing experiences from the protest. So Elik, you want to tell us a few things that happened?
Yeah, it was interesting. I felt like we got in, and it was nice to feel the energy, and I felt that it's bigger than usual.
How many people would you assume were there?
How much would you say? Like 50? No.
No, I say more than 50. I think even more than 100.
Really?
I'm not sure. I think anywhere between 100 and 150 total.
That's big for.
I think yes, for such a protest, like 30 is an average number, maybe even less.
Yeah.
So 100, 150, that's a lot, and certainly more than 30.
Yeah, and that's why also for me the slogans were a bit not radical enough.
Yes. So what? Tell us what you thought about that. Tell us your thoughts about that.
I can tell you just, the position that I'm in, that it's weird, because on one hand they understand that for the Israeli society it's very radical, and I have part in me that is already like, let's cut the bullshit,
Yes.
And I'm tired of trying to change my message in order to sound good, but on the other hand...
So what kind of message would you, like, if you
more
organize the protest?
more straightforward against the genocide and calling it a genocide.
They did call it a genocide several times, I think.
Yeah, but not enough.
Not enough, maybe, okay.
Not
Okay,
enough about the killing of children, women and children.
I think they did talk about it, but maybe not enough as well, yes.
And I would take away the יהודים והערבים מסרבים להיות אויבים.
Which means?
Jews and Arabs refuse to be enemies.
So what would you replace it with?
Equality for all, for
Okay.
Palestinians and
Equality and justice for Palestinian and Jews.
Yes.
Yes.
Something that is more,
But what is the problem then with from the river to the sea, equality and freedom for all? What is the problem? Because this was the slogan.
No,
like,
this is the one. This is the one that I feel like happy to shout. I was shouting everything because I understood this is the situation, but there were some slogans that more like, okay, this is talking to the heart of the problem.
So maybe we should go to protests that are actually in Palestinian cities.
Yeah.
And maybe there it will be more radical. So maybe we will do even...
We need to understand what they're shouting, because I guess it's in Arabic. But...
Maybe they shout in Hebrew as well. Or maybe some of them will translate for us. We will see.
And if I would make a protest, I would talk about, I would say, stop the ongoing Nakba.
Yes.
I would say... I would say that it would be about the future, it would be about the history, it would be about the present.
Yes. So here is my suggestion.
Yeah.
So we are trying to tell people how they can find us. So you can find Elik Harpaz's Instagram channel. His name is Elik _Harpaz. We will link to it under this video. And you can find his Instagram channel, and here is my suggestion. You do a video on your Instagram tonight or maybe tomorrow, where you say what will be the slogans and how you will organize a perfect protest. Like, where will it be? Like,
no Israeli would come, but or
okay,
few,
so
four.
tell us what your perfect protest
the radical bloc would come maybe.
So if you want to know what Elik's, I'm teasing you. See, this is how you do social media. Okay, I'm trying to learn like the craft of it. Okay. So if you want to see what Elik's dream protest is, you can go to his Instagram channel. Okay, and then we connect everyone and everything. Okay.
That's nice.
Okay, and then maybe later in the video you will give me an assignment for my Instagram channel, and then we will link to my Instagram channel. Okay, which is roble_viajero. Okay, so this is traveling oak in Spanish, and my name Alon means oak. And this was when I was traveling in South America, so I picked this name.
Maybe you will start traveling again soon. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe I will be forced to.
Yeah,
because I'm a traitor and should be sent to wherever. Yeah. Okay, so let's tell some more. I will tell some things that happened in the protest. So at one point we were doing the live, okay, in the protest, and then at one point I gave the phone to Elik to continue the live, and then I went with a sign, and the sign said, "Stop the killing of civilians." Okay, so this is the message on the sign: "Stop the killing of civilians."
Very radical.
So I think that in a country that is a country that, I don't know, makes the minimum requirements for anything that resembles, an operating society, a functional society, this exclamation should be not just accepted or, this is what we want, but just like obvious. obvious that this is what we want and this is what we have and this is what we are aspiring to. Stop the killing of all civilians.
Yeah, don't kill people.
And I went, okay, so the protest was in the center of Tel Aviv, okay? And it is between several locations. So one location is Azrieli Mall, okay? Which is like the capitalist mecca of the center of Tel Aviv, okay? And
it's the capitalist mecca and the military, it's symbolic.
Okay, yes. So, where is it also next to?
It's next to the Kiryah, how would you call it?
Hakiria. So this is the
most important intelligence center in Israel.
Not just intelligence. This is the headquarters of the Israeli military. The chief of staff of the military, Haramatkal, sits there. His office is there. And the like headquarters of the Air Force, where I served, you know, I was obligated to serve by law, and also Elik, and we served our 3 years. So I was there in the Kanarit building. Kanarit means canary, bird. And this is like the administrative headquarters of the Air Force. And I went there every day for, let's say, 2.5 years, like excluding like vacations and so forth. So yeah, I went there every day, and it's. I said on the live, I said it's like the office, only in uniform.
Yes.
So it's so ridiculous and horrible, and I wasted 3 years of my life.
Yeah, and this is symbolic because you know these are places the decision to kill innocents are being made.
Yes. So this is a symbolic place.
And sometimes it's just kids who doesn't really understand. They get like a mission to do this, and it passed through the chain of command through them, and then the result is like 50 people dead in Gaza.
And no one asked them. No one asked them if they want to do it really. No one asked them. They are brainwashed.
And no one, when they came to this job, asked them, you understand that part of this job is including killing of a lot of people. Do you truly think about the consequences if you really choose to? No, you just do. I don't know how you think about.
You do what you're told.
Yeah, and you're killing terrorists. You're saving your people.
And most of these people are proud of what they are doing. Yes. And the reason that they are proud of what they are doing is because they were brainwashed into believing that what they are doing is the right thing. And anytime anyone around the world tells them, no, this is the wrong thing to do because this is genocide and this is a horrible thing to do, they just they were convinced that any criticism is out of anti-Semitism, out of hatred for Israel, out of hatred for them, out of misunderstanding and stupidity and religious fanaticism and so forth and so on. So they have ready-made excuses for everything, and they believe truly that what they are doing is the right thing because they have been brainwashed by Israeli propaganda, which is very, very strong, Zionist propaganda, very, very strong around the world. And in Israel, this is like the center of this, okay? So this is the cult, the center of the cult, and they believe it completely, that what they are doing is the right thing, and that the genocide that they are committing is the right thing to do. The vast majority of them believe in that, completely. And nothing you will say will ever convince them otherwise. This is a fact, I think.
Yeah. Like
this is very problematic.
Yeah, but how? Because I'm thinking about it, like the people, like after we went away, you made a short video that you were showing in your story that it says like, look, everything is normal here.
Yes.
And right now, people are being killed.
Yes.
And I think like many people now in the world feel it, like it's crazy that this, you know, machinery of life is going like as normal. Mm-hmm. And we're all part of it, even though we're protesting, we also live our life and we try to make money.
But this is, okay, so this is something that we can address now shortly. We were born here, okay? I consider myself a Palestinian, okay? Like, I was born in Palestine. That makes me a Palestinian, okay? This is where I was born. This is where my parents were born. This is where two of my grandparents were born. This is where my family goes back generations, like 7 or 8 generations here, to the 19th century.
Yeah, okay? You have a quarter of you that is truly, like, I don't feel comfortable calling myself Palestinian.
And also, my grandmother, one of my grandmothers, she was born in Syria, so she is from the Levant. So, and the other family came from the Shiraz area in Iran. Okay, so I'm from the Levant. I don't feel out of place here. I don't think I should feel out of place here. And also, my grandfather from Poland, his family was kicked out from Poland, and his entire family was murdered by the Nazis. Okay, so I don't think I should feel any obligation to give, like, I belong here. I have no reason to live. I have no other citizenship other than Israeli citizenship. I have no other passport. I have no place to go, really. Okay? I do not want to go anywhere. I want to build a life of peace here. I want to do the best that I can to bring justice to this area and to build a community of cooperation and of peace here. And we will do it. We will do it. Yeah. And I want to bring peace here. I know that it is a difficult task, and I know that we might fail, and that we might have to run away because fascism will be too strong, but until it is, I will try my hardest to do it.
You know what I thought today? Because sometimes I think, what if we fail? And then today I shared this video also in my story that from some like Indian, I don't know, like activist, like woman, she said something that really caught me, that she said, even if we lose, by the fact that we are here and we were doing it, we already won.
Yes.
In some sense.
We won the struggle for the soul.
For the soul.
For
for
sanity.
Freedom of the mind.
Yes, freedom of the mind. Yes, this is the most important freedom. The freedom of the mind from enslavement, from emotional enslavement, intellectual enslavement. Okay, you want to free your mind, you want to free your spirit, you want to free your soul, you want to free your body, you want to free your existence, and you want to be an existence.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is how you bring true justice.
And this is already victory, and I think if we hold to this, we can make it. We can make it materialize in our lifetime.
Yes.
Because sometimes I get into this victim loser, weak mentality, like that I cannot change, and we do, and nothing matters, and I'm weak, and I'm lonely, and I'm not important, and why to struggle, and it's also the fear, the fear trying to rationalize itself. And
so we have to acknowledge that it comes and goes, that it comes and goes. I had a very difficult period in the last week or two. Yeah. So I apologize to the fans of my channel. I felt it, I felt it, like the pressure. I felt the pressure from my family. I felt the pressure from society, from inside. Like, it's really hard to do. Yeah. Like to resist the cult from inside the cult, but I believe that it is worthwhile. It is still worthwhile, and if I feel that it is not worthwhile, then I will try to do it from outside the cult.
Yes.
So anyway, one of the privileges of being inside here is that we can go to a to a protest. This is a Freudian slip. We can go to a protest in the center of Tel Aviv and see what it is like to do a protest in the center of Tel Aviv, and I had some experiences. Okay, so I held the sign, and it said "Stop the killing of civilians." And then I went. So I tried to. I started to explain the protest, the geographical. So it's between Azrieli Mall, the Mecca of Zionist capitalism, and Hakiriyah, which is the Mecca of Zionist militarism. And also Kiryat HaMemshala, which is like the place for organize, if you want to get a new ID or a new passport, you go there.
I just had thought maybe this is the real holy place of Israel, not Jerusalem. Like Jerusalem,
it's two centers. It's two different things. Okay, but anyway, so this is a center of Israel. Okay, and the center of Tel Aviv, and then the protest was kind of far from the street, but they had signs over. You can go to the live that is on Elik's channel and my channel. You can go to the live and see the protest, and they had big signs, and all the cars that went by saw the signs. And also I went, and I held a small sign that said "Stop the killing of civilians." And I went to the front, and I went in front of the main street, and I held the sign, and I had some reactions. Okay, so. One example is that some guy went by and he said, aren't you ashamed of yourself? And I said, like, for what? And then he just like was mad at me and continued. Okay. Another reaction that I had is that, okay, so this like 4 bikers stopped at the same time, and one of them gave us, I can do this, the middle finger. Okay. And then I held the sign, I gave him the peace sign instead. And then he was like, middle finger, and then, but his friend, he gave me the peace sign. And I said, okay, and then I said, I did heart, okay, and I did like peace sign again, and something happened there. I don't know exactly what. It was an interesting, exchange.
Yeah.
And okay, and next to us, there was like this argument between one of the protesters.
I tried to listen a bit.
Yes, and several Zionist Israelis, and I heard one of the girls who was arguing, the Zionist, saying they raped our girls, and then like the implication was, so therefore they deserve everything that is happening, including the genocide that is happening. But she will also deny the genocide. She would say all these kind of things, but this is her way of justifying what is going on. They raped our girls. They looted our homes.
Yeah, what happens in the mind of people that they think, because we know that many of the rape stories are, we don't know like how many were raped and all this, but let's say everything they say is true, for the sake of the argument. Why is that a justification for this mass murder
It's a very primal
campaign?
thing. It's not logical.
It's
not
logical.
Rational. It's a very primal
thing. So maybe
thing.
I have,
and it is the
maybe
way
I have
cults
problem
work.
that I don't connect it to this primal thing, that it's natural, and if you live in a society,
but you also,
this is what you have to feel.
You also have to acknowledge. You also have to acknowledge that this is the product of intense propaganda daily from the day that they are born. Yeah. This is not a natural thing that is happening. This is being fueled by powers that are much more conscious and that want to gain power. So Bibi knows what is going on. Come on, he's an intelligent person. He sees reality. He knows what is going on. And he is fueling this actively. This is not a natural,
but it shows you how it's all like emotional and psychological, like it's driven. Because let's say if rape justified genocide, so also they didn't have to emphasize all these stories of it, because the stories about the killing that is known about for sure would be enough.
Yes.
But it's not like you have to. It's like a psychological work. It's not.
Yes. Okay. So there is. I believe. Tell me if you agree that there is a virus here. Okay. There is a. So I think the word ideology, the word cult, the word mind virus, the word mental illness, like collective mental illness, collective narcissism, collective victim complex. Okay, and collective trauma that is untreated, and like things that are happening on higher levels, So all of these things, they are kind of the same thing, okay? And they are different names for the same thing, and this is the problem that we need to address, okay?
Do you think like a rational discussion about this subject is something that can be done?
This is what I think. What I think is that the way to solve this problem, if anything could work, is first of all by stopping the fuel to this, okay? Yes. So there are immense, vast, worldwide powers that are fueling this. We talked about the 80 million Christian Zionists in the US, the military-industrial complex, diplomatic, the American empire, okay? The European empire, the way that Germany solved its Jewish problem by sending all the Jews to the colony.
Together in some weird way.
So I must say that I don't think that this problem can be solved without stopping the fuel to this fire, and the fuel to this fire must be stopped outside of Israel.
Yes.
This is something that we need to say to all our viewers worldwide. This is a worldwide problem. This is not just an Israeli problem. This is why we say the Zionists are also victims, because they are being taken advantage of by a global system of propaganda that is brainwashing them all the time to do the things that they are doing, okay? And to lose their soul, and to lose their morality, and to lose their right to life and to prosperity. They are also victims here. And this is a worldwide problem that is being expressed here in a very extreme way, and this is why we must address it. But this is a worldwide problem of capitalism, the kind of capitalism that is happening now, that we both oppose, right? The kind of capitalism that is happening now, and statism, and also human supremacy is involved in this, and patriarchy, and militarism, and colonialism, and imperialism. All of this is a symptom of all these worldwide deep problems that must be addressed on a worldwide scale.
And I think, like, sometimes I feel what is the root cause of the soul level.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm more like materialist, like you think. I think like the Marxist way of looking at things, that the material conditions are like kind of primordial.
Yes.
I think it's very useful.
Yes.
But I also feel that there are root causes that they are in the psyche, in the soul.
Or spiritual, maybe.
Spiritual, yeah.
Yes.
And I feel
so
that
how do you think that this is expressed?
It's expressed, I think, if I look at the cults. So, because we have a group of people, let's say, that being massacred for really long time, and then you have a group of people who kind of have nice conditions, and they're being kept safe, and the system that relatively safe,
yes.
and the system that massacring these innocent civilians tells the people that are safe, and it's unconsciously, if you don't agree to this, you will be part of those people. You will be part of those people that no one tried to defend when they.
And this is the way that gangs work.
Yeah.
You know, so I more and more in the recent few months, I think of the world as like a collection of big gangs. You know, every country every tribe is like a mafia. You know, and it's like different families that are protecting. You know, and it's like a power struggle, and it's all. Diplomacy is not a constructive process. It's not a process of achieving peace. It's a process of like organizing the power struggles between different mafia families.
Yeah.
Like that I'm thinking about it. And this is expressed, by the way, in the really good show Better Call Saul. Watch it, it's amazing, and maybe I will do like a series of videos about this show, because this is expressed like that you know, organized society, the liberal capitalist society is no different from the criminal society. It's just different sides of the same coin, and this coin is like the system, you know.
Yeah, and I think about it when we talk about what we talked about Tel Aviv, that you have the military temple, and then the capitalistic temple.
Yes, and it's funny because the Azrieli Mall is like the cafeteria of this fucking military base.
And then I thought, like, what are we, the privileged part of this society, that's not the ones who are being massacres.
Yes.
What do they lose from this situation?
Yes, what do they lose?
So I think most of these people are not living life that they're fulfilling their dreams. They go from fear out chasing material stuff.
Yes.
In order to survive in this system, because they don't want to become part of the group that the state or the regime defined as, not subjects.
I really truly think that what they are paying for this deal with the devil is a part of their soul.
Yeah.
I really do feel that. I feel that the people that I'm speaking with have lost a part of their soul. And it is the deepest part of their soul, and this makes me very, very sad.
You know, a friend of mine that is like, I try to make her like more into she's half understanding what's going on, but she's also in denial. And she told me a few days ago, I feel everybody is like lost hope and they're depressed, not because of what's happening. And I thought, like, maybe even people who don't oppose this feel that something in their soul
has been
taken away because they know that they're sacrificing something so important of their morality.
Yeah.
And the root, and if I go back to, like, let's say from the materialistic point of view, the Marxist one, you try to understand the root cause, so you go to the power structure, and if I go to the spiritual root, it's the giving up of responsibility and morality and sense of shared.
Now we're just following orders.
Yes.
Now we're just part of the machine.
Exactly.
But I thought of another way to like explain this that is very like straightforward. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I went and I held the sign. Okay, and the sign said stop the killing of civilians, and I got many negative reactions. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what does this mean? It means just factually that I am living in a society in which the exclamation stop the killing of civilians is not just considered controversial, but it is considered out of the question.
Yeah, it's so extreme.
Not just extreme, it's like worthy of condemnation and of shaming and of hostility and of removing from society. Okay, this is what the sentence stop the killing of civilians gets you in Israeli society. So this just means factually, that Israeli society is this kind of society. And this kind of society cannot be a good society. This is just like obviously a society in which the sentence stop the killing of civilians is considered problematic and worthy of all these things is not a healthy society. And this brings me to a quote that I really love by the Indian philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti, okay? And he said, it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly ill society. And I have diagnosed, I think anyone who has half a brain should agree with this diagnosis, that this is an ill society. And therefore, I do not want to be well adjusted to it.
Yes.
This will not be a measure of my health. This will be a measure of my insanity. And indeed, people who are well adjusted to this society are psychopaths. Each and every one of them.
But we live among these people and they're not psychopaths.
But they are. Because my family has rejected me now. So please, if my sisters are rejecting me for just talking about the genocide, then this is a psychopathic situation. And if my sisters were caught up in it, then anyone is caught up in it. And this is worrying, very worrying. And also your father, and also my father to a certain extent. They are all caught up in it. They are all justifying these horrible things.
Yeah, or not going against it enough like any like normal person should.
Yes.
Like we want to
believe... they say that the Germans should have in that situation.
Yes.
They say it. They say it. We learned it from them.
Yeah, and they say it's not like the Holocaust, and do you
but
think?
It's becoming more and more like it. I'm sorry, it's becoming more. I hear stories.
Yeah, and what do you want? To wait until they kill? Like, also when Germans during the time of the Holocaust knew that there's something horrible going on, they didn't say, they didn't kill enough. Maybe when they kill some thousand.
But they're all supporting further killing.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's go back to the protest. And also there was this soldier, and she said, you should all be ashamed of yourselves, right?
Yeah.
And then we said, and then I said, what should we be ashamed of ourselves? And
she said, I don't even want to talk to you.
Yes, I don't even want to talk to you. And I said that this was very emblematic of the way that the Zionist cult and fascism in general treats the people who dare go against it. And this is just me saying, you are rejected from society. And you see, this is my sisters as well, okay? Mm-hmm. Now they have rejected me from the family because I dared go against the cult, okay? And this is the way that it operates, and this is why it is so difficult to oppose it. Because everybody knows that if you try to question the cult, if you have even a thought of question of the cult, then this is problematic. You see, because you might go down a path where you actually agree with those crazy people who are being rejected from society, so you will be rejected from society as well. So my father, he cannot even dream of agreeing with me, because if he agreed with me, he will lose everything that he has.
Yes.
This is like, if my father does what I do, he will lose all his clients immediately.
Yes.
So he cannot dream of it. Okay? So you have to understand that this is how the cult operates, and this is why I say we must stop fueling it.
But I must say this cult, for sure here, it's more strong, but I think, like I was talking to a friend who live in Germany, and she told me she wants to go against her like scholarship because they don't do, and she also had this dilemma of speaking up or losing something important.
People in Germany are being silenced and are being fired all over the place by just for expressing pro-Palestinian opinions or anti-Zionist opinions.
But that's why I wanted to say, to go back to the battle, like all of the people, all of humanity have to free itself.
Yes.
So there's
simultaneously.
So the oppressed it's obvious, they need to free themselves from super strong oppressor.
Yes.
And I think the Palestinians, one of the reasons the Palestinians has not been wiped out, because they've done, you can criticize them or not, but they stayed united and they didn't give up their resistance to the occupation.
Yes.
They're doing their job.
Yes. And they're spreading their message all around the world.
Yeah, and overall I think because of that they won, because they won the hearts and minds of people around the world.
And also they connected with other indigenous populations around the world, indigenous populations in the Americas, in Africa. They are cooperating. This is a worldwide struggle of indigenous peoples against occupation of colonizers, foreign colonizers. And this is a worldwide struggle, and the Palestinians are now at the forefront of it. And I think that this is an amazing step in their struggle. And I think that this is the beginning of the end of Zionism. And I think that the Palestinians have won already. It is just a matter of time before this victory is expressed in their material conditions.
Yeah, I also believe sometimes I think maybe it's a fantasy, but I think something changed.
I think it's a process of 5 to 10 years before we see real change.
Wow.
Yes, this is what I think. And I think that we are part of it. We are creating it, and we have woken up, and we are waking up more and more all the time.
But I wanted to say the other side of it, because which you have the sacrifice that the oppressed and the Palestinians have to do, and then you have the sacrifice of the people who are privileged but want to save their soul, and they have to give something material in order to gain their morality.
So this is the assumption. Dignity. I don't agree with this assumption even. I think that if they do it, if they give up their privilege, their lives would become better, materially better. Like for example, they could have free movement if we destroyed all states and have an anarchical society, and destroyed all systems of hierarchy, and everybody gave up their privilege, so-called privilege, everyone would be able to move freely everywhere. And right now, Israelis have limited freedom of movement. So they will gain materially, immediately, by freedom of movement.
And we're locked.
By giving up their privilege. This is ridiculous saying.
And the result of it, like Israelis want
trade between all these
and even the most religious crazy ones, they will have more access to their holy places.
Yes.
Without, if they give up this, we have to be the masters, they will have more access to go in places and do their spiritual work and everything. It's like for everybody.
Just try to cooperate with the Levant. What is the problem? We have arrived into the Levant. Okay, we are here. Okay, no one is questioning that you are here. Okay, אף אחד לא אומר שאתם לא כאן. יש כאלה שאומרים שאסור לכם להיות כאן, אבל אנחנו נשכנע אותם, הכל בסדר, הם רציונליים, הם יכולים להבין, רובם יכולים להבין, והכל יהיה בסדר. אנחנו כאן, הכל בסדר, פשוט בואו נשתלב, אנחנו לא אדונים, אנחנו שווים בין שווים, והכל יהיה בסדר, ויהיה שלום, ויהיה מגניב, תוכלו ללכת לפאקינג ביירות, ולנשוף שם על הים, לנפוש שם על הים, או לעזה ולנפוש על הים, והכל בסדר. הכל בסדר, תלכו, אני אוכל ללכת, לבקר את דמשק, לראות את המקום שבו סבתא שלי נולדה, אוקיי? בואו נעשה את זה. יאללה. This is why the name of our other podcast is Yalla, so let's advertise. So we have another podcast on Elik's channel, Yalla, and the latest episode we spoke with Nathan Jordan, about the cult of Christian Zionism, okay, which is even more insane in some senses than what is going on here.
And it have more influence, like
yes, and it has 80 million members at least, only in the US, and they have huge influence.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they're a big part of the Israeli lobby in general.
Yes.
Like the lobbies contains a few stuff.
So go to Elik's channel, Sound of Anarchy, and watch that episode. And you want to say to tell about another episode that we had there?
So we had basically 4 so far. The
Yes.
first one with Daniel Mate.
Yes.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu.
It was really nice.
He taught us how, from his experience, about how to talk to Zionists in a way that doesn't drive us insane. I am starting to think that there is no such way, that this is the problem. Not that, like maybe I could learn more from Daniel, and it really did help me.
No,
but in the end, I think that there is no way to speak to Zionists, really. This is my unfortunate conclusion. Maybe there will be some way in some time in the future. So anyway, we had the interview with Daniel Mate. We also spoke about resistance through art.
Right.
And then we had an episode with
Muhammad Faraj.
Yes, who was born in Ramallah, right, and who lived in Ramallah for his childhood, and he told us about his experiences with the Israeli occupation and his experiences living as a Palestinian in the United States at the moment.
Yeah, and it was just really fun to talk and to see that like he is a Palestinian and we're like Israelis and we completely like understand the situation.
And we feel like brothers,
Yeah, and we see the reality and what we want in the same way.
Yeah, and we agree on basically everything.
Yeah.
And then we had Yalla and Dan, who are an Israeli couple, and they both went through a process of radicalization. And they became anti-Zionists, and we had a very interesting conversation about like the process. We also shared a little bit of our own process of radicalization. And so, what are your thoughts about that conversation?
I thought that it's really nice to hear stories like this of people, and I think many people can relate to that. It was amazing that Dan was explaining about his feeling being oppressed by being part of the army.
Yes.
And then a Palestinian friend told us that he could relate to this feeling of oppression.
Yes.
And it's something really weird that I get from Palestinians lately, that I talk about how I'm depressed from the situation, and they tell me I feel exactly the same, and I'm like, how can it be? Like but in the core of our humanity, we are the same.
Yes.
And people can relate to you when you speak honestly, and it gives us, and I think it
connects everyone. It connects everyone. And I was thinking that there is like a system here, this cult that we were talking about, and this cult is hierarchical, okay, and it has many layers. And this is a fact that we talk about a lot on our podcast, One State Solution. We talk a lot about the fact that between the river and the sea, there is one society which is interconnected and multi-layered, and it has a lot of subgroups, okay? But it is one society, and just the Palestinians are at the very bottom of this ladder, this social ladder and material ladder, and they are the least protected group, and therefore they are being genocided right now because they are not protected in their own society. And we must acknowledge that this is one society and make it an equal, just, and peaceful society. This is all that we ask.
And
to acknowledge reality and then continue from that.
Yeah, and for people who tell us you cannot mix these two societies, like the Israelis are one group and the Palestinians are other group, I want to remind you that Zionism took many groups that didn't even speak the same. Yeah, and it's completely artificial society. We're not some organic group that. So I'm not saying we need to create a melting pot of Palestinians and Israelis. I would prefer that it will occur natural by just limiting breaking the separation.
Just remove the boundaries. Remove the boundaries. That's all we ask. And see what happens. don't be afraid.
Yeah, and just teach your kids Arabic, and that's it. And they will
just talk. Just talk and see what happens. Just talk and see what happens.
I think if with goodwill, in few generations, like Palestinians and Jews will go together to school and they meet and they do their computer games together, and it's just not an issue,
Yes. So on our podcast Yalla, this is what we do. We try to talk with people from all over, from all sections of this society, and we try to build a future together, starting it by talking about it. Yes. And tomorrow we will do an interview with, can I say the name, or maybe I will just say who it is, and then we will, after the episode.
Also don't remember his family name.
So we have a Palestinian friend who we've been talking with for a few weeks now, and he's amazing, and he's vegan, and we will interview him and learn about his experiences, and you can watch that. That will be episode 5 of the Yalla podcast, okay? And also, on our One State Solution podcast, there is a special episode that will be coming out, I hope, tonight. And I will not say anything about it.
We will not say it? Okay.
No, we will not say anything about it, but it is a doozy. That's all we will say. Okay?
Okay, and this is already kind of an...
this is like an episode. Yes, this is cool. So, and also for the Yalla podcast, we have more plans, more really amazing people that we are going to interview about many different subjects, like the geopolitics of the Middle East. We have
and contact us if you want to talk to us and to maybe come up on our podcast. I said to Alon, how do you say, anarchic or anarchic?
Yes, it's an anarchical structure kind of thing.
So we of course we want to interview also people who are known, but basically we don't care. If you have an interesting voice that we want to amplify, we're all people.
We don't care how many followers you have, and we don't care what your titles are.
Yeah, just like we started talking not because we had, because we wanted.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So so what do we want to say before we finish? Oh, I want to tell one last story from the protest.
Mm-hmm.
So I was walking and holding the phone with the live, and then some guy told me, "Oh, I recognize you from the podcast, and I really like your podcast."
Nice.
So this was really flattering, and I don't know who you are. If you can send me a message and tell me that's who I am, and we can talk. I don't know if you want to talk publicly on everyone is invited to our podcast, and you are also invited. I don't know if you want to speak publicly, but at least let's start a conversation. And what else?
I don't know. There was this guy that told you when we were going for
Okay. One last story.
And I wanted, can I tell the story?
Tell the story. Tell the story.
Alon was making a story that he was showing the Kiryat, this military command place that we talked. Yes. He said, like,
you can see the story on my Instagram channel, Roble_Viajero. And we will link to it under the video. I do the work.
And he said, I will say what you said. Okay? Look, they say Hamas is using human shields, and look, this is a military command center in the middle of
what I said in this episode.
And then guy heard it, and he said, like, what did you just say? Who walked next to us?
Yes, he was very upset.
Yeah, and
just a random person. I didn't know. I don't know who he is.
And what did you answer him? I don't remember. Like, he said something.
He said, so why do you live here? Go away.
Why do you live here? And then
why do you live in this country? Go away.
You said, I'm saving Palestine.
Yes, I said I'm saving Palestine. I am Palestinian. I was born here. And he said, I was also born here. Yeah. And I'm Jewish. And I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, what's the problem?
Yes. And then, like, he said, why are you, I don't know, they're feeding you this shit, I don't know.
Yeah, he said, what titles do you have? He cares about titles. He said, what titles do you have? And I said, I have a master's in math. And he said, and you still fall for this bullshit? Mm-hmm. And this is the level of their arguments. All ad hominem arguments, like stupid arguments, they don't have any good arguments. So I told him, do you want to do an interview live on Instagram? And he said, no, but I want to talk to you. And I said, I don't have time. I don't want to waste my time.
I felt a bit regret that you like, cause he was like, I want to talk to you, let's talk to you, and you were like, look.
I was tired from the protest, and I don't think this guy is worth my time. Seriously, like maybe if I had like more if I wasn't tired, if maybe I would talk to him. Maybe the next one I would. But this is the point. The point is that people just randomly can show hostility to you and tell you to go away, just like immediately go away. Like the second thing that he told me was go away.
I understand, but I sometimes I see myself through their eyes, and I can understand why they're frightened in a way. But
yes,
because I know how it looks from the inside, and from the inside, it's like these people want to take take everything from us. They want to turn Israel into Palestine. They're crazy.
So we need to do a better job of explaining our position, and this is precisely what we are doing here.
Yeah.
Okay? And I hope that more and more people who consider themselves Zionists or Zionist left watch this and understand that all we want to do is bring this place to a better condition, and to reduce the level of violence, and to reduce separation, and to have justice and equality for all, and freedom and peace and love and harmony and cooperation and all these beautiful things. This is all we want. And maybe we disagree on how to bring it, but let's first agree that this is the dream.
Yes.
Okay, so let's finish here, because we've been recording for almost 52 minutes.
Okay.
So let's just...
we cannot just do short one.
No, we can. So let's just close by saying all the places that you can find us. So we have our podcast, One State Solution. This is on my channel, the Hebrew Canaanite on YouTube. And there is the Yalla podcast. Yalla podcast is on Elik's channel.
The Sound of Anarchy.
Yes, Sound of Anarchy. And go there to see our Yalla podcast. And we have 4 episodes on our Yalla podcast, and soon to be 2 or 3 more at least. And on One State Solution, we have, I don't know, like 8, 9 episodes.
Wow.
And we have like 2 more to upload. So it's becoming a lot of content now. And also go to Elik's Instagram channel. This is Elik_Harpaz, and he has music there. And also, you want to say about your plans for music?
Yeah, I have a lot of resistance songs.
Yes. He has it on his Instagram channel. Go and watch it.
Not all of them, but some of them.
Yes.
And I understood that in order to continue to do art in these crazy times, it has to be a form of resistance art.
Yes.
And that's what I do. So I wrote many songs, and I hope to get out an album soon, and maybe also to make it on video, because I'm a performative person, so it has to be. And I also want to do a tour, inshallah, when it will happen, to spread the message of freedom and justice, and freedom is also making satire. It's also making fun, and to joke about the people who think they rule the world.
Yes.
And to show them that they cannot win against our freedom of
self-expression.
Yeah.
Yes, and of independent thought.
For me, that's a big part of my art.
Yes. Okay. Amazing. So, if you support Elik's dream of producing an album, please comment below. Elik, please do the album, and you will let us know that you watched 54 minutes of this episode. So on One State Solution, we have 8 to 10 episodes, and Elik is going to do an album, and also my Instagram channel, roble_viajero, where I do all kinds of interesting stuff, and I post stories every day, usually. So thank you for watching so far, and we hope that there is a ceasefire as soon as possible. This is what we hope.
Yes.
That the global conditions would lead to this. This can happen.
and that this
soon, and
we hope that this ceasefire will only be the beginning of something. Yes. We don't want just ceasefire and going back to
Elik, one of Elik's songs, which will be in the album, I hope, is Ceasefire Now, Ceasefire Forever.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you everybody for listening so far, and peace and justice for all.
Justice for all.